Characteristics of successful negotiation. Successful negotiation is characterized by a combination of skills, strategies, and attitudes that contribute to achieving mutually beneficial agreements. These characteristics collectively contribute to the success of negotiations, enabling negotiators to navigate complexities, build trust, and achieve outcomes that satisfy the interests of all parties involved. By embodying these qualities, negotiators can cultivate a positive and effective negotiation environment. Successful negotiation is an art that involves skillful communication, problem-solving, and mutual understanding to reach agreements that satisfy the interests and needs of all parties involved. Here are some key characteristics of successful negotiation, along with examples. Preparation. Successful negotiators invest time and effort in thoroughly researching and preparing for negotiations. This includes understanding the issues at hand, knowing the interests of all parties, and anticipating potential challenges. Example: before entering a business partnership, a successful negotiator conducts market research, analyses the financial health of both companies, and studies industry trends to negotiate favorable terms. Active listening. Successful negotiators listen actively to the concerns and interests of the other parties. They seek to understand the underlying motivations and emotions driving the negotiation. Example: in labor negotiations, a successful negotiator listens attentively to the concerns of the union, demonstrating empathy and a genuine understanding of the employees' perspectives. Effective communication. Successful negotiators communicate clearly and persuasively, conveying their points in a manner that resonates with the other parties. They use language that is precise, avoids ambiguity, and fosters a positive atmosphere. Example: when negotiating a contract, a successful negotiator articulates the terms and conditions in a way that minimizes confusion, ensuring that both parties have a shared understanding of the agreement. Flexibility and adaptability. Successful negotiators remain flexible and adaptable, adjusting their strategies in response to new information, changing circumstances, or unexpected developments. Example: in international trade negotiations, a successful negotiator adapts to shifts in economic conditions, trade policies, or geopolitical factors to secure the best possible terms for their country. Problem-solving orientation. Successful negotiators view challenges as opportunities for creative problem-solving. They focus on finding mutually acceptable solutions rather than dwelling on differences. Example: in a real estate negotiation, a successful negotiator identifies shared interests and explores innovative solutions, such as adjusting payment terms or including additional assets in the deal to meet both parties' needs. Patience and persistence. Successful negotiators exhibit patience in navigating through complex issues and demonstrate persistence in pursuing an agreement, even when faced with obstacles. Example: in diplomatic negotiations between countries, a successful negotiator patiently engages in lengthy discussions, persistently addressing contentious issues until a diplomatic solution is reached. Emotional intelligence. Successful negotiators are emotionally intelligent, recognizing and managing their own emotions and understanding the emotions of others. This enables them to navigate tense situations with empathy and composure. Example: in a team negotiation, a successful negotiator remains calm under pressure, addresses conflicts diplomatically, and acknowledges the emotional concerns of team members to maintain a positive negotiation environment. Win-win approach. Successful negotiators aim for outcomes that benefit all parties involved, adopting a win-win mentality. They strive to create value rather than seeking to exploit the other party. Example: when negotiating a business contract, a successful negotiator seeks terms that maximize the benefits for both companies, fostering a long-term relationship and future collaboration. Ethical conduct. Successful negotiators adhere to ethical principles and conduct negotiations with integrity. They prioritize honesty, transparency, and fairness throughout the process. Example: in government negotiations, a successful negotiator upholds ethical standards, avoids corruption, and ensures that agreements serve the public interest without compromising ethical principles. Post-negotiation relationship building. Successful negotiators recognize the importance of post-negotiation relationship building. They invest in maintaining positive connections with the other parties for future collaboration. Example, after successfully negotiating a merger, a negotiator continues to cultivate a positive relationship with the merged company's leadership, fostering a collaborative environment for ongoing business interactions. Understanding power dynamics. Successful negotiators understand power dynamics and leverage them effectively. They recognize their sources of power and are mindful of the power dynamics at play between the parties. Example, in a negotiation between a supplier and a big retailer, a successful negotiator from the supplier side might leverage the uniqueness of their product or their ability to meet high demand, understanding that this gives them negotiating power. Building trust. Successful negotiators prioritize the establishment and maintenance of trust. Trust is the foundation for open communication and cooperation during negotiations. Example, in a negotiation between two companies for a joint venture, successful negotiators build trust by sharing relevant information, meeting commitments, and demonstrating reliability, fostering a cooperative and transparent relationship. Crisis management skills. Successful negotiators are adept at managing crises that may arise during negotiations. They remain composed and strategic in addressing unexpected challenges. Example, during a negotiation for a major construction project, unforeseen environmental concerns emerge. Successful negotiators manage the crisis by collaborating on environmental impact assessments and adjusting project plans to address the issues. Focus on interests, not positions. Successful negotiators focus on understanding and addressing the underlying interests of each party rather than rigidly adhering to initial positions. Example, in a negotiation between a labor union and management, successful negotiators look beyond specific wage demands and explore underlying concerns such as job security, workplace safety, and employee well-being to find common ground. Negotiation timing. Successful negotiators recognize the importance of timing in negotiations. They choose opportune moments to introduce proposals, respond to offers, or address critical issues. Example, in a real estate negotiation, a successful negotiator might strategically time their counteroffer after positive economic news or when market conditions are favorable, maximizing the likelihood of acceptance. Clear decision-making processes. Successful negotiators establish clear decision-making processes to avoid ambiguity and ensure that all parties are on the same page regarding how decisions will be reached. Example, in a business partnership negotiation, successful negotiators outline a decision-making framework, specifying how key decisions will be made, who has authority, and the criteria for evaluating proposals. Cultural sensitivity. Successful negotiators are culturally sensitive and adapt their approach to accommodate cultural differences. They avoid behaviors or language that may be offensive or misunderstood. Example, in an international business negotiation, successful negotiators take into account cultural nuances related to communication styles, hierarchy, and decision-making processes to build rapport and facilitate understanding. Balancing assertiveness and cooperation. Successful negotiators strike a balance between being assertive in pursuing their interests and cooperating with the other parties to find common ground. Example, in a negotiation for a business acquisition, successful negotiators assertively negotiate favorable terms while also collaborating on aspects that benefit both parties, such as integrating teams or sharing best practices.